Start trading today at pukatrade.com.
Hey guys, welcome back to Vintage Super League. I'm Eric Froelich. I'm joined by Kai Buda, who was a former great. Currently plays on the Pro Tour, which is still very good.
I don't think I got great by playing these matchups. I assume that's terrible for me, right?
I don't know. I think that we're playing fairly similar decks structurally, where I have a bit of an edge, but I don't think it's big.
I mean, I can't beat the Containment Priest.
Well, okay. I don't know your exact list. If you don't have removal spells, I do have multiple Containment Priests, multiple Disenchants, Crocus.
Yeah, my deck is very heavily built to beat Storm and Workshops.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to the Rich Che list, who he was trying to build an Oath deck to beat Storm and Workshop, so makes a lot of sense. You're playing myself and Luis, right? So
yeah, I figured at least one of you is on Workshops, but I assume Luis is probably on Dredge or something now. And
yeah, I mean, we're both heavy favorites to show up with at least one of the two decks. They are. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Like, the game seemed winnable. Also, I got insanely lucky to win the first game, but I think my draws were in general pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know how insanely lucky you got. You had a handful of turns to probably find like an orchard to win that first game, and I mean your draw is fine. I cast Standstill pretty early in the game when you're at a high life total, but I don't have much else my deck can really do, so I kind of had to just play that, hope that it worked out. It didn't. Game 2 went a little better, and Game 3 looked great for me, especially like when you crack the Standstill. I figure you got a couple cards in hand. One of them's probably Force of Will blue card. I hit Force of Will, so I just need I have 30 blue cards in my deck and a bunch of fast mana. Any Mox or Lotus, I can just cast double Disenchant.
When I cracked that Standstill, any of your Moxes allows you to cast 2 Disenchants, and any Force of Will blue card beats me as well. Like, I mean, I think it was the only thing I could do at that point.
Storm or I guess it was any blue card at that point, but yeah, there was a.
Well, you didn't have the Force of Will when I attacked with the probe, like.
Right. No, I'm saying I drew the 3 cards off the Standstill. If in the 4 cards I need any fast mana to just be good, or like a Flusterstorm, because that goes with Disenchant, or Spell Pierce, or any 1 mana counter would have done it, or Force of a blue card.
I'm sure it was more than half your deck at that point.
Yeah. So, but Swords to Plowshare got the job done, and then I got to cast all my cards, and that was pretty nice.
How many did you have of those after sideboard?
I can't remember. I went between 1 and 2. So there was definitely not more than 2, and I'm positive there wasn't less than 1.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I switched at the last minute. I think I actually went down to 1 and put the Crucible back in.
But did you have that in your hand, or did you draw it that turn when you cast it?
I drew Swords the turn I cast it.
Yeah, it felt like you would have used it previously.
Oath that turn because you have no cards, and I can play Crucible because you hit Elish Norn, and I can kill your Oath, and I have Crocus in my deck. So
Sure.
That's why I oathed, so that I can get Crocus in my graveyard, set up the Crucible, and hopefully lock you out that way as best possible, because my hand's really good and you're empty-handed.
And Caracas is another card I just can't deal with. I don't even have a Strip Mine. Like, I have no library, no Strip Mine, no Wasteland, so like I think the matchup is pretty bad, but I don't know. I mean, like, in the third game, I mean, I mulliganed into a mediocre hand out of a pretty bad hand. But my only chance really was to draw a Time Walk or something. I don't know. From my side, it felt really bad, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it might be worse than I'm originally thinking. It feels like there's a lot of overlap where we both have kind of haymakers that can get the job done, but I have more answers to yours. So, I mean, it can't be like the No Rod Shops is against Belcher, but.
No, I mean, I win that game if I win the Elish Norn Grizzlebrand flip. I have 1 of each off the sideboard, and if that's a Grizzlebrand, I win, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I draw 14 cards and just need to counter something. But,
win in a landslide if you hit Grizzlebrand, assuming you have 14 cards in your library at that point, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I had this memory journey thing. Like, Rich doesn't run that, but I figure that's fine. I mean, that card can potentially host Storm, I think. Like, if you respond to a will, or even if you respond to a Dark Petition and remove spells, like, it could potentially do something, and it's a blue card for Force of Will, so I figured I might as well run 1.
Yeah, no,
not get decked.
Then if you hit Grizzlebrand, it was basically just over on the spot. So, our next match, we have Randy Buehler, Hall of Famer. He's facing Chris Pikula, the meddling mage. Any insight what you think they might be playing? Do you already know what they're playing?
I talked to Randy a bit before, and he was tempted to run Dredge again because he
Yep.
expects that Chris is high likely on workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And Randy was reasonably happy with the Dredge deck from the last set.
No, he went
So-
2-1, and his loss was pretty absurd. He mulliganed to 1 a couple times, so and something the Dredge deck does every now and then, but doing it twice in one match is something
question
that
is-
only I've got to experience 3 times, and everyone else has got to experience 3 times who's played Dredge in the past couple seasons. It's definitely had some bad luck. Pikula on the other side, well, he could be playing Shops or he could be playing Storm, but there's some
if
chance he's
he's-
playing Shops or he could be playing Storm.
If he's playing workshops, I assume he has a sideboard against Dredge, right? Because Randy, it has to be in Randy's reach to play Dredge.
I've already
I would
played
be surprised
Pikula.
if he's unprepared.
I've already played Pikula, so I haven't put too much thought into it. But going in, I felt pretty confident that I could ballpark guess 9 of the decks. Menendian's not easy, but I would put him on basically a blue dirtily deck of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
I
Will's
talked
mental
to Luis
missteps,
beforehand.
I mean,
We had you on 80% Oath, 20% Storm, and Randy I would have had on. I thought he was a little bit more likely to play Merfolk actually, because that's kind of his old bread and butter. And if not Merfolk, Dredge. Pikula, I would say 80% Storm, 20% Shops.
I don't think the Merfolk deck is good enough. I don't think that's
It's
within its
never
range.
probably been good enough. Randy's done very well with it. Everyone in the league who's played it's actually done very well with it. It is surprising every time Merfolk does well in any format to me because it does look underpowered, but it is actually pretty good. It has some early disruption. I've lost. It's one of the decks I've had the most trouble with playing Storm on Magic Online, which is, again, surprises me every time, but I've certainly lost matches. And yeah, it's just a strong deck. After that, we're going to have, let's see, who's the third match? Menendian versus Rich Shea, so that would be Rich Shea about 80% on workshops. Web.
There's surely a good chance he's playing Oath, right? He's been playing so much Oath recently.
Yeah, no, I would say I would again go 80-20 about workshops versus Oath. Ochoa versus Bob Marr be the fourth match. I have Ochoa on 80% Shops, 20% Shops, and Bob. I put Bob on the same thing as you, but inverse, like 80% Storm, 20% Oath. And the final match, I also play against Martel. I thought he was going to play Shops, playing against me and Luis. We're pretty likely to play decks like Storm. And Luis, well, he's probably going to play Shops or Storm, right? What else could he possibly play? Thought not expect to be in his deck.
Lewis has a big range. Anything can happen. All right, Chris and Randy are waiting for us.
All right.
Chris won the die roll. Always a good thing.
Spoiler alert, but okay. Well, let's go.
Chris is already complaining about us talking too much. Okay.
All right, so Storm against Dredge. Let's see what we have here. Randy does not have a Bazaar.
Naturally.
No, he does. He doesn't have any Dredge cards, though.
He doesn't have a main deck leyline of Sanctity, in a sense.
That was what he was playing last time, too, right? Well, that's actually just game over against Storm, right?
Might have a Chain of Vapor main deck, but yeah, could be game over.
Otherwise,
Chris
this hand's not very
double
good.
mulligans.
Storm is actually just faster than Dredge on average.
Well, not
But,
with a double mulligan in that hand.
yes, that's mostly true.
And there's the leyline. Oh, Randy won the die roll, never mind me.
So Chris is pulling it out. So I assume he has Chain of Vapor in his deck, or he's giving away information for not much gain after you see Leyline into Bazaar. Randy's draw is not the most explosive yet. He still has more chance to hit. Potential Dredge card. We should probably pop his graveyard out, get that on screen as best we can see.
There's no
nothing
Dredge
super
card yet.
exciting
That's a pretty big problem.
It's not a big problem if Chris Pikula is already dead, if he can't win through Leyline, but other than...
That's a good point. I mean, he can't be dead, right? Like, he would not place... I mean, the thing is, I guess, if you concede to Leyline, you're giving him the same information. Like,
Yes.
it can only be Storm, right? Like, anyone else doesn't doesn't care. Maybe Belcher. Could be Storm and Belcher.
Yeah, and I guess there's probably not too much that a dredge deck is going to board in, depending on what you're playing anyway. They're going to probably board in the anti-dredge ways to kill things like Grafdigger's Cage, although a deck like Storm's not going to have that. So, well, this Cabal Therapy will let us know.
You just let it resolve, surely, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he has the guts to name Ancestral Recall. And it would be a pretty good play, but...
What did he name? Force of Will?
Force of Will. Yeah, he named Force of Will, so that fizzled.
Well, Pikula's range was Storm or Shop, so... I didn't really see him playing a Doomsday deck here. I guess he did play some kind of like Hate Bears deck.
Is he playing Doomsday?
No, he's playing Storm. It says it on the screen.
Oh, yeah. I mean, from the cards we've seen, that still could be Doomsday, I suppose.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Wow, he's getting misstepped too. Oh, Pikula. Holy
That's
Pikula.
rough. Huh?
This Windfall's not...
That windfall. I mean, Randy's pretty excited about the Windfall right now.
Well, Chris's hand still doesn't come close to doing anything. Bazaar should set this up to win in probably 2 turns.
Well, if he can ever find the dredge card, but eventually he should.
Yeah.
Well, he can Windfall now. For what, 2 cards? 3 cards? No, 2 cards.
Pretty exciting stuff, yeah.
Probably don't even do that, right? I mean, it's not like he can do anything else, but... Is there a good vampiric target? I don't think there's anything.
Bazaar gets activated, there's a Grave Troll, that'll get the party started.
I think Chris' best plan is to hope to draw fast mana and vampiric for bargain and hope to win in 1 turn, which could happen. I mean, that... Like, Randy's not going to kill him this turn, I don't think. It seems impossible.
Yeah, but he's not going to be able to draw fast mana and draw the bargain off the vamp, right? So...
No, he has
Randy
to
is going to kill him next turn, isn't he?
Oh, he is going to kill him next turn, yeah.
It's pretty... I guess it's not a lot.
It's not guaranteed, I don't think.
There's only 1 bridge in the graveyard. He can use the Petrified Field to bring back Undiscovered, to bring back Bloodghast. Then he can Dread Return Sun Titan to not do that much, I guess. I guess he can bring another land back to then bring the Bloodghast back. So he's going to have like a bunch of... He could probably be attacking for at least 14 next turn. And he's still going to get to Dredge because he has Grave Troll in the graveyard and hand and Bazaar. So,
Chris might get another turn here, though. Like...
Oh, Chris is not going to die this turn, I don't think.
No, I mean, a turn after. Like, I'm pretty sure he needs to.
I think he's going to take so much damage that even if he got Bargain, he's going to be at, like, 2.
Yeah.
So...
Seems like
that doesn't mean he's completely dead.
Yeah. Maybe it's just... You can't Vampiric for Necropotence now, right? That doesn't make any sense.
No, it does nothing. You can't live.
You can Vampiric for Time Twist, I guess. I mean, that helps.
So Sun Titan comes back. This can bring a land back to get back 2 more Bloodghast. So there's going to be 14 power in play.
Yeah. But he doesn't have a... Like, getting back a Bazaar would be pretty nice.
Well, yeah, that would end the game this turn more than likely, but... I mean, he would have been able to bring one back with the field also.
Yeah, I mean, Chris might actually win this if he goes Vampiric Time Twister and just gets a good draw. It's
yeah, it's possible.
Entirely possible.
Well, there's still a Leyline in play, so he's going to have to somehow find a Chain of Vapor, assuming it's in his deck, which we do assume, and which does make it a lot harder because he's not going to have like all the mana available to him. He's going to need a really good hand and one that has extra like mana for Chain or Tutors, which is not going to be a graveyard.
If he finds a Black Lotus and a couple of rituals and a Will, he has all the mana.
He actually wants to get Wheel of Fortune here, then, right? Just to leave Ancestral in the graveyard to have a better chance at like a better Yawgmoth Spell, or do you want to?
Yeah. No, I think you get. Yeah, I think you're right. You get Wheel first, so you can Time Twist it later.
Yeah.
I mean, Time Twister has the advantage that you shuffle Randy's graveyard in. I'm not sure if that even does that much, but... Do you play a land here?
I think not. Just to hope your draw might need Academy to have a.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it might be good to not play a land, but
I mean, it's nice to have the land out of your deck, but by the same logic, I think he should have just gotten the wheel. Assume he might not have Wheel of Fortune too. I guess it was one of the weaker cards I have found in a lot of matchups, especially ones that VSL players play. Oh, he has Tinker in his deck.
Tinker. So
Well,
he
his hand
could
does
just
nothing except for a Tinker. I don't know what Tinker gets him. I assume Memory Jar. And he's going to have some mana to work with. Although there's a Mental Misstep again in Randy's hand.
It's gonna
And
hit.
with another bizarre... Randy is going to win on his turn almost every time here. Oh, Pikula actually has Missteps in his deck. Which is not something any of the Storm decks have played. That we've seen. I didn't even notice that in his hand. It didn't cross my mind that could have been in his deck. Alright,
So, Tinker for Memory Jar?
It's the only play you have.
I mean, there's nothing insane that he can Tinker now, right? I can't think
if
of
he
anything.
had, like, Sphinx of the Steel Wind or something in his deck, maybe. But no.
Ensnaring Bridge Duress himself. Good game.
That would be so good. Ensnaring Bridge in the Necropotence deck.
Nah.
Alright, so another
Still
7.
Can only be better. Oh, there's a Lotus. Oh, no. Now we're talking.
Yeah, if there is Chain of Vapor in his deck,
And then he can also he can Hawkins recall himself to recast all these artifacts, which is insane.
30.
Good old Storm.
Randy's holding the Mental Misstep. I think just trying to hit the Chain of Vapor, actually, which might be insane. Although it's pretty likely that on this Mind's Desire for 800 that he will find a Duress effect.
Approximately 800.
Otherwise, I actually really like Randy's play. If I can only lose the Chain of Vapor, I'm going to hold this Misstep. I don't care about Soul Ring. Soul Ring's great, but I really like that play by Randy. That's good thinking.
Yeah, that's true. He might just be able to get this done. Do we have a Storm count? It's something like 20
So
already?
much.
Or 12?
He's cast all 7 cards in hand multiple times. And Randy's misstep things.
17 now?
Yeah. It's going to be for about 20.
Mind's Desire for half his deck?
Well, he can draw his whole deck. That's going to find cards that draw cards, bargain, whatever.
Would be pretty hilarious if he doesn't have the chain and just can't win.
Or at least, if not chain, some way to deal with the ley line or to win with creatures. He can just maybe cast some Simian Spirit Guides and set up shop to play some D.
Right.
Great. This is a fun turn.
Not sure Randy agrees.
This is pure magic. This matchup right here, when Richard Garfield sat down at Penn State, it's just like, what game do I want to invent? It looked like this.
So we have a Dark Petition, a Mox, a Windfall.
Was it Penn State or UPenn? I don't remember now.
Time Walk, Hope,
that was wrong.
Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond. There's a Will. Okay, so if he has anything in his deck, then
Yep.
we
Even
easily
just an
got
empty
there.
will do it because he hit Time Walk.
There's the Tendrils. Yes, so much. I mean, there's the chain. Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's the skipper. Well, hopefully he casts a Duress effect first.
I'm sure he
Did he
will
hit a
do
mental
that.
misstep or anything like that?
I didn't see Chris winning this game at all after these opening hands.
Oh, no. Well, you knew it was all in on a draw 7 and hope, which was not 0%, but it's
Well, the
tough.
second draw 7 got there.
Second draw 7 was incredible. If he hit that same hand on the first draw 7, Yeah, I guess it probably would have still been insane. He had
Yeah.
mana to get to -7. The second draw 7 was Sapphire Soul Ring mana vault. So.
Also, the second draw 7 added.
Oh, he can't actually
Like.
cast Duress because of the ley line. So he's gonna have to.
Oh. Well, I mean, in the worst case scenario, he can just cast Will and protect it with a mental misstep from his graveyard. But I'm sure he can draw way more.
We've seen Chris take a few lines with his Storm deck to basically try to lose where he had the win. He's done some iffy plays.
Even if he just casts Chain of Vapor now, nothing happens, right? Like he counters it and then he just casts Yakma's Will and casts again. I mean, he needs to really mess this up if he doesn't win from here.
Yeah, he could cast Tango for upwards of 8,000.
I mean, if he casts and uses Lion's Eye Diamond. I mean, it doesn't even do anything. All these cards are removed. No, never mind.
Cast the Windfall for free for another draw 7.
No, it's only one. Oh no, Randy has 6 cards in hand after the misstep. Oh, there's a chain right away. Wow. I guess that's correct.
I don't know if it's correct or not, but it doesn't matter.
I mean, I would probably tutor for a mental misstep first, but whatever.
He might not have more mental missteps. There's not a lot of room in this deck. I guess he doesn't have. Does he just not have Cabal Therapies? I haven't seen one. So that card probably came out for some number of missteps.
There's no defense grid either in all the cards we've seen so
far.
I
saw a list that did well in a vintage tournament live on the Mana Drain that looks like what Chris is playing. That I think it had a third Cabal Ritual, it had Tinker and Memory Jar, and it did not have Cabal Therapy, I believe. And it had something like Missteps. Alright, so after all of this excitement, Chris Pikula got this game on a Multi 5.
Could speed this up a little bit, I think. But I guess
he could time out.
Better safe than sorry.
Okay. We have Dark Petition for Demonic Tutor. Oh, sure.
What the hell is he doing?
Showing off. If he gets all these cards into the graveyard first, the amount that he can tendrils for is in the millions. He can Hercules himself. This is absurd.
The Will? That's
alright, Yawgmoth will get cast.
Just no fear.
Well, there's a misstep in his graveyard. He can cast it.
Sure.
He probably just doesn't have another one.
Yeah. Has to be the only one. Alright.
Is he going to cast what's solar just play the damn tendril?
Well, he didn't even cast all this.
Not even going to duress first.
That's only 24. Come on.
Be so good.
Mind Bait Trap? Yeah. Exile everything you have.
You've already been ley-lined and everything. It's just yeah, I have one Mind Bait Trap. Taste it. Although he could have just countered the Yawgmoth, obviously, but yeah. That would have been.
Oh yeah, so Chris actually didn't have defense grids from what I can see. So it's just a super aggressive Storm deck.
Well, he's got some lands, some defense grids. Everything's too small for me, so I'll assume that he has nothing to bring in. He could have Ravenous Traps. Is that what that black card is? No,
I don't think so.
Sarcomate. Hercules Recon. So yeah,
what's the 2 black cards on top of his sideboard on the right? But this.
He's got Dread of Night Duress and 2 Sadistic Sarcomates.
Oh, Sadistic Sarcomates, sure. Okay. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
really
going to be that much sideboarding in this matchup.
I considered playing something like Extract. If there was an Extract for 2 cards, I thought I was going to be playing against Oath and Storm. I'm I could see myself playing that. But, it just wasn't. So Chris is probably not boarding anything. He would like to probably take out some of these Duresses, but I mean, you can board in a Simian Spirit guy, get a little bit faster. Although I don't even know if that started in the sideboard or main deck, but it's sitting on the sideboard now.
What's the Blightsteel Colossus doing there? Does he want to block? I don't think that's is that a good card against Dredge? I can't imagine. I actually need 2 attacks, right?
Turn 1 Leyline and I don't know. Whatever.
Did he have Time Walk in his deck? I think he had Time Walk, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure. with a time walk in his deck, it's a fair way to win.
Alright. That was a fun one. This is a big match, though. The loser of this match is really sweating the last 2 weeks, so...
Along with me... It's so many... Like, it's gonna be multiple people on 2 and 5 after this, I think.
Oh, that's guaranteed, yeah. We still have multiple more 2-4s left to play.
Yep.
Alright. No, Randy does not have a Bazaar. Pikula's hand is turn 1 Time Twister with a bunch of mana floating, though.
I can sign up for that one.
That gets the Kai seal of approval.
Oh yeah.
The Age Prodigy does not counter that.
And there's a ley line, but still no Bazaar.
Yeah, he's good at having Leyline in his opening hand, which is a skill.
There's a Bazaar, but no ley line. Do we keep that? Probably, right?
Bazaar, but no anything. No colored mana to cast your Nature's Claim, and no Dredge card, but can't mulligan a Bazaar hand on 5, that's for sure. Or on 6 or 7 or 4 or 3 or 2. Well, the good news for him is Pikula's probably going to allow him to draw 7 here. The odds of finding a much better hand are definitely there, although the ley lines are going to be dead from here on out.
See, considering to cast Brainstorm this turn, that seems crazy.
It's not crazy just because letting your opponent Bazaar once is not necessarily the end of the world when you're going to cast Time Twister, but it is really bad because there's a reasonable chance of dying right now.
So he is passing the turn? I'm not a big fan of that.
The percentage of the time that the Dredge can kill on turn 2 after playing a turn 1 Bazaar is high enough that this is an unbelievably huge risk, but you do get rewarded of having a lot more mana next turn and resetting some of these Dredge cards potentially.
If I wanted to do that, I think I Brainstorm main phase, or and just put the Time Twister on top of my library and hope to draw even more mana that I can put into play.
Yeah, I mean the benefit...
Dragon Lord Kologan.
Yeah, Dragon Lord Kologan and Flamekin Zealot are pretty functionally similar. So, there are outs for Randy to just win this game right here. They involve Dread Return and bridges and hitting an Archimeeba. He hit an Archimeebas. I see at least one bridge.
I think it's only one. There's a Dread Return, but there's no Sun Titan.
There is Dragon Lord Kologan, so he can, like, attack for 13 here or something? Is that how that works?
He's got a Cabal Therapy too.
Yeah, so that's actually even more. Randy is extremely close to winning here. Another bridge would have been millions of damage and really punished Pikula for not going for it.
Yeah, Randy beat me on turn 2 and I was very surprised.
It does win on turn 2 a reasonable amount after a turn 1 Bazaar. It's just such a good card. Alright, so...
Back to 14.
Pikula's going to take a million. Oh, those are decent cards. It's not bad.
Oh, yeah, well.
But he is going to have to win this turn. Doesn't have a ley line to deal with. He's a big favorite, I think.
Yeah, he has to be. I mean, do you actually time walk or do you just shuffle the time walk away?
There's no reason not to time walk, right?
Well, just more mana, right? You could just time twist that with Ritual and sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond in response.
Right, but you could just time walk and get an extra land drop. And you just time walk untap. It doesn't cost you anything.
But also just time walk time twist, I guess. I mean,
wait, what is happening?
Oh. What?
Christopher, what?
Oh,
Did he not brainstorm end step?
Chris thought we were in end step, I assume. But I mean, that therapy is not going to hit anything, right? I mean, Dark Ritual maybe? Yeah, he's naming the crucial. No. Good call.
I mean, if he names Time Twister, Chris just loses. When
Yep.
there's just no reason to, he could have put Time Twister on top, just on the 1%er. There's not another Cabal Therapy in his graveyard, he just really punted the game, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I wonder what.
That would be
I
impressive.
would have really liked to have a camera on Chris' face when that therapy came up on the screen. I'm pretty sure he was certain we are in end step right now.
Yeah, you would think that. Alright, so I guess Chris is not time walking to untap for an extra draw.
I think he should just pro fetch time walk onto cast time twister.
Right, but he shouldn't have played the Lion's Eye Diamond if he does that. He's just cost himself a storm.
In that can't matter. I mean, it's super unlikely to matter.
Really?
I mean,
There's so
for
many
Mind's Desire, I
things that are
guess.
just like perfect tendrils. Well, this is pretty egregious.
So he does time walk time twister and toss and takes another turn.
And you think he's not going to sack Lion's Eye here?
I mean,
Yeah, I guess that's fine.
I think it's fine. Yeah.
Alright, I'll take it. I don't understand doing that versus just time walk, play an extra land, cast your probe.
Oh, he does
Not
have
doing
first
that
Lion's
either.
Eye Diamond.
Alright. Well,
That's the Lion's Eye Diamond again.
Hmm.
Well, he did take black mana. That's pretty bad, right?
he can cast the bargain, but he's at 5. With
Bargain
no
doesn't do
mana.
it. How does he cast the bargain?
He can cast Will in response, sack Lion's Eye,
Oh, sure.
play Lion's Eye.
Then his will is gone,
Yes, and he has no mana, and
and
he's
he's not alive.
Yeah, I think this was a really debacled turn. Getting to
Now we have to
this
find
hand-
Black Lotus, maybe? That would probably be the best card.
Yeah, I mean, he gets to untap. I guess at this, well, maybe you just cast like a Taxian Probe now. Just to not lose your 3 black mana in case you hit. Sheen of Vapor. Doesn't do much.
Brainstorm.
There's a
Just to
couple
do
storms
something.
now, potentially. It's useful. Thanks, hon. I know. He's figuring it out, don't worry.
That's nothing. So fetch Detection Probe and pray. I mean, he still has will, I guess, and can get the brainstorm back.
Well, he has a Time Twister in his graveyard, too.
Yeah.
So Yawgmoth's Will is still kind of great. I assume Chris is still favored here despite all of this. I guess Randy could end up
It's not
drawing a
getting
hand with
better.
enough missteps and stuff that would not be true off another Time Twister. Well,
There's another time walk. Okay then.
yeah, it is a Time Walk. I don't even know if he wants to cast this one, though.
Yeah.
2 mana might be too much. I certainly don't feel like figuring that out, but... Oh,
What's the time walk?
Alright. The reason why I like having these big turns and just casting Time Twister is that basically having just a couple spells, you can tendrils and just win the game, which is nice.
That
You
helps.
don't get hit too much. So at this point, you're just untapping again, right?
I think so. I mean, cast the Spirit Guide to get an attack in, but
I don't like that. But
I don't like it either.
I would much rather add 1 red mana and not have it in my deck for when I Time Twister.
Yeah.
Although the best part about having Simian Spirit Guide in your deck on Magic Online is that when you exile from your hand, it taps.
Oh, it does tap in your hand.
Oh yeah, as intended. Yeah, it's pretty sweet to see though.
So Necro, even worse than bargain. Yeah, I guess we're just casting Yakmasville.
Yep, there's a tap semi-surgery.
Do you time Twister right away, or do you
I think I
brainstorm
exile
first?
Necropotence. I think I'm gonna chain one of my artifacts just to up the storm count.
Yeah, I mean, chaining the Mox doesn't cost you anything.
Right, flow the mana. You can sack it. Like you can add a ton of storm here actually. Like all your lands don't matter unless you're time
Well,
walking again.
but you do if you time Twister, then you can draw these lands again, which is
Yeah,
pretty bad.
it's true. But if you just draw tendrils or tutor, you win. Like you have six out 7 times to just straight win.
Just seems so likely that he does that anyway.
There's no reason to do it more than maybe like once though, just to make sure that you have the storm, or it doesn't matter if you draw a land. But yeah, you're right.
Do you lead with Brainstorming, or do you Twister right away? Like, do you just recast artifacts and Twister?
You should lead on Brainstorm, right? Definitely
Time
not.
Walk?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's like the last ditch effort.
Yes, which can't happen because you cast Time Twister. Yeah, you definitely don't want a Time Walk.
So now we should brainstorm. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
If we're doing all this, then we want to brainstorm.
You can cast Lion's Eye first and sack it. That's completely reasonable. That way, if you hit a Dark Petition, a Demonic Tutor, or Tendrils, you just win. Alright, they'll do it. That has to be enough Storm, right? He's cast by a ton. Yeah, so he's going to get to Dark Petition here. Find the Tendrils, and man, I feel a little bit for Randy. He got to sit there for a very long time.
And he played, what, 2 turns? 3 turns?
Yeah.
He actually looked good in both games, and then...
Well, he had Chris on a 1-turn window where Randy honestly had to get... It's hard to say he got unlucky because, I don't know what percentage of the time you're supposed to win on turn 2 there, although he was so close that, you feel like he got a little unlucky, but maybe he was lucky to be in that position. It's hard to say for sure, because I'm not, by any stretch, a Dredge expert. I've never won a game with it, but he was extremely...
But you did try. I mean, it's not for lack of effort or anything.
hard. It just didn't work. It was everyone's fault but mine.
Alright. Cast it? I don't think he has to respond with anything, even just cast it and be done, right?
I mean, the one thing he could do is cast all the instants and sorcery in the graveyard and then not use Lion's Eye so that he doesn't get Spell Mastery and doesn't have mana. That is...
I'm sure we are above 9 Storm by now. It must be way more than that.
Yeah.
Oh no, all this time walking
kind of reduces the storm. Lion's Eye like 3 times this turn. So. The Yawgmoth's the Brainstorm. He's cast like 4 Time Walks this turn, I think.
Well,
he cast the Time Walk earlier on. So
since Randy's last turn, yeah.
If Chris can't find the win, he will get to untap and take another one. So. He is still alive if he misclicks.
I wonder what turn we are in. Turn 6 or something? And Randy had 2? Turn 4?
It's Chris's turn 4, and also his turn 2.
Well, you got to play...
Chris could have played the time on turn 1 and didn't. Instead, he time-walked several times.
So now Chris should be seeing the storm count in his library. Whoa.
What earth?
Lightsteel Colossus? But he only has 1 time walk.
He can chain a Vapor to bounce the token, but this... what?
I mean, I guess it's kind of stylish, but I think just winning is probably better.
Is Tendril somehow... No, it can't be removed from anything. That makes no sense.
No.
Did he misclick? Tinker comes right after Tendrils.
So now
he doesn't cast Chain of Vapor, he's dead, but...
But wait, can't Randy just... Randy can just bounce the fucking Blightsteel Colossus, right? What is happening here?
Blightsteel Colossus, there was no adjective before that.
Wait, did Randy... Oh yeah, there we go. What the hell is just happening here? Man.
Pikula.
Can he cast it next turn? No.
What?
What? So now he has to sacrifice Lion's Eye Diamond and cast Time Twister and hope to get lucky and win.
He's still a favorite. He gets to untap. He just got a Blightsteel Colossus.
Come on, Chris.
That couldn't do anything. I guess he bounced he killed a Bazaar. That's cool.
He did Stone Rain a Bazaar, yeah. It was a lot of work to Stone Rain a Bazaar, and now we Time Twister again.
Chris is gonna win this game, and I'm still just gonna give him a
Storm count 10, so he didn't have to do anything. He just
No.
So now he goes
could have just changed his artifacts, all of them again.
Now he's casting Reach. I mean, this is not deserved. Oh no, he Reach
Demonic Tutor for Black.
No, he just has the Tendrils. He just Reach 10
Oh, I didn't know he had a mana still. Yeah.
I mean, this is just what just happened.
I can't. All right, so both players will advance to 2 and 5. Randy's at the match, but I've rewarded Chris a match loss. Unsportsmanlike conduct, at the very least. Did he actually just not have enough Storm and didn't think that he could cast the Chain on all his artifacts or something?
Yeah, probably. I mean, he had 10 Storm now.
He cast Tinker, then he cast Chain of Vapor, then he cast Time Twister, then he cast Tendril. So Storm was actually only like 7?
Storm was 7 or 8, yeah, but he could have easily stormed enough by just bouncing some of his Zero Casting Ghost artifacts.
Well, I understand that. I just didn't know if... Okay. Yeah, that I just wanted to know what he was thinking, at least.
Well, he couldn't just get Tendrils and cast it to
No,
him.
he put in our Skype chat, I tried to be more entertaining for the chat.
Okay. But I'm gonna use that line whenever I mess up on camera again, so...
Yeah, next week you'll get your opportunity, so it's pretty exciting.
Yep.
What are you supposed to say about what just happened here? Like, my heart goes out to Randy. That was weird. All right.
You don't always get to bounce someone's Blightsteel Colossus with their own Chain of Vapor, at least. I mean, that's something you can... That's a good story to tell people.
It is likely that will be the only time it happens, unless Kai decides to make it more exciting for the chat in the future.
I mean, to be fair, Chris also wins if he just does it the other way around, right? Like, if he just Chain of Vapors the token and then tinkers into the Blightsteel Colossus, then he just wins, right?
Yes.
I mean...
If he casts Chain of Vapor or tutors for anything, or...
Yeah. I mean, he did win. It's just a slightly different line than we would have taken, but it ended up with the same result.
Pikula. That's what I get for trying to be hilarious. Made a play that went from being 100% to like maybe a favorite. Who knows? You're going to be forced to Time Twister. All right. So yeah, that's vintage. We saw. I can't. Next match. Steven.
We saw Storm Deck winning on turn 2 twice. I mean,
you made the German Juggernaut first on camera. That's what just happened. Everyone loved it. The crowd went wild. Wow. Stay tuned. Rich Schaefer and Steve Menendian.
See you later.